You guys have issues like this with your hair? If you have really thick hair and you can't almost wear anything because everything starts sliding off? Oh, there you go. Perfect. Good as new. Hey guys, Taylor here. And today I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about something that my family personally struggled with as far as having a child with autism is concerned, and I'm pretty sure almost every single autistic family goes through the same thing that my family went through when I was a kid. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about therapy. We're not talking about physical therapy, sorry about that. Today we're talking about psychological therapy and mental therapy, which is the type of therapy that most people with autism and Asperger's receive. Alrighty guys, so let's get talking. I don't really remember going to therapy outside of my house, like going to see a professional therapist when I was a kid. The reason why I don't remember going to see a professional therapist is because my mom only took me once. My mom decided to go and take me to see a behavioral therapist shortly after I was diagnosed with autism, which we would later find out in life that I have high-functioning autism, so I'm an Aspie. Anyway, the behavioral therapist that worked with me for only one time basically told my mom that the next time that I have a tantrum or a meltdown, she should just put me in my room and lock the door from the outside. But my mom said to her, okay, but what if something happens and she needs me? Then unlock the door and go get her. Okay, but what if there's a fire? Oh, the fire department will come get her. What am I supposed to do if something happens and I can't get to her? Well, you still need to lock her in her room every time she has a tantrum or a meltdown. Yeah, shortly after that, my mom refused to make another appointment with that therapist, and she decided not to take me there anymore because of what that therapist said. My other experiences with therapy came from school as a young child. I went to an early intervention school for preschool. I was there for 2 years before kindergarten. I started when I was 3. And they had an occupational therapist who would take me out of the room and just kind of let me run around and have fun for a little bit and kind of de-stress myself a little bit. And they also had speech there, which was really, really important for me because up until I was 4, I was nonverbal. I remember being pulled out in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade. I have very fond memories of me being pulled out for speech, for tutoring, and for occupational therapy. I was a very frequent guest in occupational therapy. Occupational therapy, or OT as I call it, is something that schools have to kind of help children with sensory issues or children with special needs. I was always being set down there if I was stressed, if I was feeling really, really tense, if I was feeling a little bit out of the regular world and I was slowly creeping into my own world. It would be around that point where the teacher would kind of call for the OT specialist to come get me so that I could take a break. And that really seemed to help me. Other than those experiences and outside of the school, I had no therapy. I did not go see a therapist. In fact, the way I am able to tell what helps me and what doesn't help me a lot now that I'm older is because my mom played her wonderful, successful game called Trial and Error. If you don't know what Trial and Error is, it's this little game that autism parents play to see what helps their child and what doesn't help their child. Ever since 17 years since my diagnosis, it'll be 18 years in June, my mom has had to try multiple methods and multiple stuff on me to ensure that I was okay, to make sure that I would calm down, that I would de-stress, what would help me release the tension. One of my mother's first successful methods while playing her game of Trial and Error was Barney. Yeah, I grew up with Barney. Barney was played in my house 24/7 because she knew that it will get me to stay calm and it will get me to stay still for at least 2 to 3 hours. I swear guys, every time I would hear that da-da-da-da-da-da-da, I was like, and I just ran and sat on the couch and I would sit there and focus on that big purple dinosaur filled with love and happiness. Another thing that my mom has done that has worked very, very successfully was whenever Barney did not work, she would take me inside the bathroom, fill the bathtub with water, she would take off my clothes and she would put me in the bathtub and let me play in the water for a few minutes. or possibly an hour, however long I needed to be in there to play in the water. Believe it or not, I recently just did this. I put on my swimsuit and I turned on the water and I filled the bathtub with water. I also put some of my bath soap in there because I wanted to, you know, make bubbles and it'll make the bathroom smell a little bit nice. So I went ahead and did that, and I sat there and I just played in the water for a few minutes, and guys, honestly, there's nothing like it. It is so incredibly relaxing. It's so incredibly wonderful. And plus, autistic people are fascinated with water. And then as time grew on, the more that I needed more outlets and the more I needed stuff with me to kind of help me get through my days at school, or to kind of help me get through my day whenever I'm at home or if I'm away out of town. So my mom, again, resumed her game of trial and error. I've always been a big fan of Play-Doh, but she saw that Play-Doh really helps me de-stress and it helps me kind of take out my tension a little bit, but it also helps me lower my stress level and helps me release the tension because I'm squeezing the Play-Doh, I'm squishing the Play-Doh, I'm ripping the Play-Doh. She saw that that actually helps, so even now, my mom buys Play-Doh for me to kind of help me. We recently discovered that putty and kinetic sand also help me for my sensory issues too. They also help me. Ever since I was 18, I guess, I decided to go ahead and try my own sense of therapy using the stuff that actually helps me and that actually works through mom's little game of trial and error. And I decided that that would be my at-home therapy. The reason why I love doing this because number one, it doesn't cost a lot. In fact, this is very, very cheap. Number two, you're in your home. And number three, it helps. So right now I'm going to show you guys the things that I use whenever I do at-home therapy. The first thing that I use is this silly putty. And what I do is I take it out of this little canister thing, like so. And I kind of just like, and I just stretch it out a little bit, like this. Like you can stretch it, you can also rip it, like I just did. But you know what? It's okay because it's easily repairable. So the next thing that I do whenever I do at-home therapy is something that my mom kind of introduced me to in 2015, like almost a year ago. And that is coloring. I color almost on a daily basis. It helps me calm down, it helps me stay relaxed. Another thing that I use for at-home therapy is my stress ball. This is a stress ball that my Grammy gave me. And you guys know how a stress ball works. You squeeze it. Whenever you're feeling tense, you just squeeze it as hard as you can and it releases the tension. But it's also a very good kind of therapeutic massage type thing for your hands because afterwards, like after 15 minutes, my hands feel a little bit relaxed after this. So the next thing that I use for my at-home therapy is kinetic sand. I was introduced to this last year around November. Yeah, it was November of 2015 where I was introduced to this. So what it is basically sand on steroids. That's all I'm gonna say, because check this out. You grab a handful of sand and look at that. It just feels like really, really relaxing. The final thing that I use for my at-home therapy is my Play-Doh! This is my Play-Doh in a bag in a bin. Basically, it's the Play-Doh and the Play-Doh stuff and the Play-Doh toys that are associated with the Play-Doh in this bag inside this bin. Reason why this is in a bin. It is because there are times where I just want to roll out my Play-Doh and use my little stamps or use my little cutters or use my little doohickeys right here, and I need the Play-Doh to be flat. So this is what the bin is for. I think the main problem is that there are now so many resources out there that actually help autistic people. In fact, more resources than I had when I was a kid. So I think what I'm gonna do from here on out is to keep playing trial and error and see what works and what doesn't work, and see what helps me and what doesn't help me. Use previous methods that my mom used from time to time. And I think if I do that, then that is therapy for me. Well guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up if you guys liked it. Also in the comments below, tell me about some therapeutic methods that you used with your autistic loved one. I would love to read and reply to your responses below. Who knows, maybe I'll try it too. And finally, as always, if you guys like my videos and want to see more videos from me, go ahead and give this channel a subscribe. Well guys, that's it for now. Until next time.